How's it going, guys? So before I begin this video, I just want to say I'm actually recording this video from my new house that I'm renting with a couple friends, so new location, if you will. Besides that, let's get right on into the video. So in the last few weeks or so, there have been a lot of talks about Kyle Busch's future. It all pretty much began when you go back to Speed Weeks when Mars M&M's announced that they would be departing NASCAR at the end of the 2022 season. There wasn't really much thought except that a major sponsor that has been with Kyle Busch since 2008 when he joined Joe Gibbs Racing, that they would be leaving NASCAR completely. And again, M&M's, Mars, this company's been in NASCAR for decades. Not to mention that a lot of Kyle Busch's salary, as revealed by Adam Stern, comes from the $25 million that is spent annually on the sponsorship. More recently, a sponsor was lined up for Kyle Busch, but it fell through. And it was revealed that that supposed sponsor was Oracle, who also helps sponsor Team Red Bull in Formula One. Not only that, but TRD has began making contingency plans in case of the departure of Kyle Busch, and Gene Haas also met with Kyle Busch, hearing that Busch could drive the 41 car if he leaves JGR for Stewart Haas, and I'm sure Gene Haas could foot the bill for Kyle Busch. Not to mention, there are many question marks right now for really both Busch brothers when you think about it. Kurt Busch was sidelined at Pocono for concussion-like symptoms, and Ty Gibbs had to sub in, and looks like it's going to happen again at Indy. Kyle is still trying to figure out his plans for 2023 and beyond as well. So why is Kyle Busch struggling to find a sponsor? Well, earlier I mentioned that Mars M&M's pays $25 million annually to sponsor Kyle Busch, and that's like for most of the season. How much does Oracle pay for Team Red Bull? Well, in total, make that $500 million, $500 million. But keep in mind, that is for being part of the Team Red Bull title sponsor. Not to mention that it is Formula One and it's bound to be way more expensive to sponsor generally. Something like that shows how much of a challenge it is for Joe Gibbs to find sponsorship for Kyle that can match close to what the deal M&M's had. We really don't know much, or at least I don't know much at the moment as to why this Oracle deal fell through, but there could be plenty of reasons. Talking more on why Kyle Busch is struggling to find a sponsor, I also have to bring up this. Remember that Kyle Busch is one of the most gifted NASCAR drivers of our time. He's been so good and so dominant for so long, winning 2 Cup Series championships and winning across all 3 major circuits of NASCAR. And he's always been a love or hate kind of guy. There are people who love him, and there are people who hate him. I know you really can't compare anyone to Dale Earnhardt, and Dale Earnhardt is a one of a kind of a driver. But if there's anyone out there who is close to Dale Earnhardt, it's probably Kyle Busch. However, you gotta remember that Kyle Busch also has a bit of history with on-track controversies, such as the incident with Ron Hornaday back in 2011, as well as things he's said over time. He also had to go under sensitivity training after the Fall Martinsville race in 2021 after dropping the R-word slur when he had an encounter on the track with Brad Keselowski, a longtime rival of his. So could issues like that be the reason for Busch's sponsorship struggles? It's hard to say. You could look back for an example to Kyle Larson's iRacing accident in 2020 when he said what he said, I'm not going to say what it is, that caused him to be suspended for the entire season, and he lost his ride and the support from all those sponsors. He came back in 2021 with Rick Hendrick, in which, by the way, I've heard rumors that supposedly he almost signed with Stewart Haas Racing. I've heard rumors from anonymous sources, that's all I can say with that he almost signed with Stewart Haas Racing, but Ford supposedly vetoed it. So yeah, there's that. But despite that, Larson went on to sign with Hendrick. HendrickCars.com has been his main sponsor. Well, a total of 11 wins and a championship later, I'd say things are going quite well for Mr. Larson. Now, the big question is, where's Kyle Busch going to be? Well, I feel like he will have a ride next season. I would be stunned if he doesn't have a ride and he just straight up retires out of nowhere, because I feel like he can still be competitive for quite a while, and part of me still thinks he sticks with Joe Gibbs Racing at the end of this. Even though, like I said earlier, Gene Haas met with Kyle Busch last week before Pocono, that if he goes to Stewart Haas Racing, he could replace Cole Custer in the 41, which is interesting. And then again, that 41's always kind of been the Haas car, from what it feels like. In Cole Custer's first 3 seasons in the Cup Series, outside his win at Kentucky in 2020, we really haven't seen him do much, and he has been struggling more than ever. If this occurred, we could see Cole Custer do some more Xfinity racing to help him out more. Maybe Ford loans him to a team such as what we saw him do with SS Greenlight Racing. He did win the Xfinity Auto Club race earlier this year for SS Greenlight Racing, the team's first ever win. So he could potentially do that for a year or be loaned out just to try and get his mojo back or just find a little more confidence in him. Because I think Custer's got potential, but it's been weird seeing him struggle. Then, of course, if Kyle Busch does leave, and let's be honest here, besides Stewart-Haas Racing, I don't see any other team that Kyle Busch could go to. I think I saw a tweet that Bob Pockrass was mentioning rumors of him going to RCR. I don't think Kyle Busch would be willing to go to a team like that unless he got a part ownership role, kind of like what Brad Keselowski did with Roush Fenway Racing, which is now RFK Racing. So if Kyle Busch leaves, who takes the 18? Ty Gibbs? Tyler Reddick? Despite him going to 2311 in 2024, it's really hard to tell right now, and I think TRD and Joe Gibbs Racing is in a really interesting situation here for sure. It's really hard to tell, and this is, like usual, we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. But besides that, I want to know what you guys think. Where do you think Kyle Busch ends up? Will he land a sponsor? Will he be with Joe Gibbs Racing? Will he be with Stewart-Haas? What do you guys think? Because, you know, this is pretty interesting. If Kyle Busch were to leave Joe Gibbs Racing, he would be the biggest free agent for sure. I mean, kind of like when you go back to 2008 when he and Dale Earnhardt Jr. were the biggest free agents during the 2007 season and going into 2008. But besides that, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and from my new home, I'm Sonic Rules 831, and I'll see you in the next video.